Welcome to the Welcoming Prayer Healing Practice. I'm doing this as a moving practice, so I'm going to be standing. You can do this sitting, laying down, eyes open, eyes closed. Whatever it is that works perfect for you. I found that physically moving through the space and helps me. And one of the things y'all shared was being in nature, being in places that help you connect into the gratitude. We talk about persistence, being able to stay in our practices and how important those are. And I'm grateful for all of those things. So hold on, I have a little odd thing going on where I can't see you all, and I really want to see you all. So I'm going to fix this. Oh, much better. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh gosh, I'm happy with technology. It makes me so happy. It does all these fun things because we're so happy. And there we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the Welcoming Prayer Healing Circle, and welcome to this practice of moving and sharing and doing the body scan. The welcoming prayer has 3 movements. The first movement is to feel and sink into the body. The second movement is to welcome that feeling, sensation, emotion that we have in the being, in this sacred temple. And the third movement is to let go, letting go of the desire for security, affection, control, and embracing this moment. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Breathing. Breathing in the light, the love, the grace, the joy of the divine. That divine indwelling. Indwelling. Inhaling and exhaling. Bringing in the love and the light, exhaling that love and light into the world, knowing the divine is with us all the time, and that we, as gifts of the divine, we are gifted by the divine, and we are gifts into the world around us. And we breathe. And so moving your body in whatever gentle way, or imagining the breath moving through your body. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to start our body scan. We're going to start our body scan at our feet today. So wherever your feet are, if they're on the ground, maybe you're barefoot, maybe you have shoes on, however they are, start towards the body. And we're going to use another part of your body to recognize that outside layer of your body, and as it connects to the world around us and encases us in this temple. So we'll start at the base where we connect into the earth, our persistent connection into nature, into the world around us. And coming up the body, up the leg. We'll do one leg at a time as it connects into the body. And then we connect from the other foot. And this can be imagining the movement, tapping, scrubbing, whatever it is works best for you today. In through the body, from the leg up into the core of the body, into your seat, into the pelvis. And coming up into the core of the body. So where all those amazing organs are that keep the blood flowing, your spine that keeps the synovial fluids, that love and grace of God flowing. Feeling it all the way through the body. And tactile is about the proprioceptors. It's about these, we are gifted in our body with senses that allow us to tell where we are in space. They let us sense, even when someone's looking at us, we have a physical connection to the world around us that lets us connect into these things, into these experiences. And we welcome those. And sometimes using, I use a scarf regularly to be able to connect into the parts of my body that I don't reach as well. And perhaps you can really reach your back and all those, but in some way, notice the back. Maybe you're sitting or laying down and it's against a surface. Notice that. And coming to the arms. And all those places. So some of us are healing from injuries. And so the shoulders and the upper arm and the elbows and the wrists may have interesting feelings. Welcome, Kathy. Lovely to see you here. And just notice that. Notice any feelings in the body. And coming into the hands, which allow us to interact with the world around us. And then coming to the throat and the neck. The back of the head. The top of the head. And into the face. The eyes, the nose, the mouth, the jaw, the ears. What draws you? Notice them all, but notice what draws you. Or maybe if it's even your neck. But what in this upper body draws you today? Where is your attention taken? And give that some attention. You don't need to know why or even label it, but notice it. This is a practice about feeling and sinking in, which to me is about noticing. And one of the things we've had shared here was to drop the story and notice the feelings. And so I encourage you to do that. Drop the story. Notice the feelings. Sink into the feelings. Be with the feelings. And now we've reached the top of our head. So now breathe, allow your breath to come and fill the body, light and love and grace. And scan the whole, these kind of exterior parts of your body. And notice how they connect into the world around us. Notice the temperature in your room, in your space. Notice if there's any, like, is there a breeze coming in that warms you or cools you? Are there sounds and sensations around you that affect your body? Notice that. And now scanning your body either with a tactile or with your imagination or your intuition. Scan from the bottom to the top again, up from the bottom, all the way through to the top of your head. And all the spaces in between. Maybe there's particular spots in the body that are calling to you that say, "Oh, remember me. I'm here for you. I'm here to remind you of your perfection as a being, a child of God in this space, in this place, in this time." And we'll go to our spinal movement. The connection between the head and the tail is your spine. There's 24 wonderful vertebrae. You have lumbar and your thoracic and your cranial, and there's all these wonderful little vertebrae. And I like to think when we wiggle, there's a synovial fluid which goes and flows between the nerve endings and in these spaces. And when we move, it gives it a chance to move through. And I like to think of that as the grace of God. And so that when we just need a little grace and we're just wondering, and we could just do a tiny little wiggle or a big wiggle, but a wiggle that suits you. Bringing the grace and the love. The welcoming prayer is an embodied practice that we do a body scan to help build our repertoire of where is our body? Where are we in our bodies? And this allows us, so in the moment of everyday life, when things happen, we can easily, or more easily anyway, sense where that is. So now let's come into the core, into the center, and rest into that space. Noticing as you come in, the feelings. In the Kanaka Maoli, the indigenous people of the land of which I am, this is where thoughts and emotions are felt and expressed, come from this part of the body, the na'au. And then when you're ready, reach out into the space around you. Reach out. In a way that flows with your day today. Reaching out. And when you are ready, come rest into the internal flow, that inner part of you that allows you to persistently be in your faith, be in your practices. Even on the days where you just can't quite do it, there's still an inner sense, an inner persistence, an inner love, because the divine indwelling is with you. And then when you are ready again, extend out in a way that works for you. And one more time in and out in your own time, in your own image. What is the image that works for you for this practice? When you are ready, return to the spinal movement, the wiggle. And notice if there's any sounds that happen when you wiggle. My joints are very actively talking to me today. Somehow when I move like this, I can hear sounds around me. And now we'll go into the movement of the lower body. So moving the lower body, noticing your feet, your legs, lower part of your spine. Moving in a way that resonates for you. The foundation, like we have foundations of our faith, and they're reflected in the body itself, foundations, that which support us and build us in our faith, in our life, help us bring into the world. And allow us to explore. We're so lucky if we have the use of this part of the body. I had a son who did not have the use of this part of his body, and it's really had me cherish this ability to move. It's just so precious. And then notice the upper body. How does the upper body flow and move? How does it allow you to be persistent in your faith and in your work? What does it allow you to connect into? What courage can you bring in? What can you do in the world that allows the things that you are standing up for? How do you allow them to be shared? And how do you receive the gifts that are being showered around you all the time? The gifts and the grace of the divine are always around you. We open up to them and receive. Receiving into the light and the love and the faith. And then return to the spine. The connection between the upper and the lower body. The connection that brings us all together into our place and space. Sidedness. What side speaks to you first? And then what other side? And we return to the wiggle, spine, the connectedness. And we come across the cross lateral, crossing across the center line, the upper to the lower, the right side to the left side, building the brain, building our faith as we can connect intuition with action, what we see with what we know, what we feel with what we believe, what we experience, which what we know comes from the divine. And cross over on the other side, whichever side you've crossed before. And when you are ready, returning to the wiggle. And now using your eyes to see the world around you, let's flow around looking. We're going to go in a circular motion, looking around, seeing all the world around you. If you're in a chair or laying down, you can tilt or in some way move your head with your eyes open, helps you build this sense of a little discomfort, a little imbalance. You can do it in your imagination. But physically moving the head and the eyes, with the eyes focusing and catching the world around you, brings a sense of imbalance. Makes you a little unbalanced. So that then we can come to stillness. In our belief and our faith, we can come to stillness, and wholeness, and be restored. This builds our ability to deal with things that aren't quite as comfortable. And now moving a different way to have yourself become unbalanced. What's another way that you can move that will make you. I'm doing a figure 8 pattern with my head, looking with my eyes as I look through the space. And then coming into the rest, into the wholeness, into the stillness. And returning to the spine. Returning to the whole being. Somehow when we move this or that, the focus can come away from the whole being. It can come away from this vessel of the divine indwelling. We can get distracted. So in the second movement, where we're welcoming the presence, we're welcoming what we're experiencing in the body as an opportunity to consent to the divine indwelling. Think of it as a whole body experience. And then notice where in your body speaks to you and says, welcome me, I'm here. And then breathing. Remembering the body, remembering this vessel, this temple of the divine. And letting go. Letting go of the desire for security, affection, control. And embracing this moment as it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The welcoming prayer has these 3 movements to feel and sink into the body. To welcome what we are feeling as an opportunity to consent to the divine indwelling. And to let go. Letting go of the desire for security, affection, and control. And embracing this moment as it is. Embracing this moment as it is. We're not here to change it. We're here to recognize it and invite the divine indwelling's presence and action in our lives in these moments as they are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now I invite you to take a little time to take yourself into the welcoming prayer practice your way. How do you use the welcoming prayer? I like to use it as a sandwich for centering prayer. So we're going to have our welcoming prayer, and then we're going to go into centering prayer. And then for me, I will then do another welcoming prayer practice before I go into the next part of my life, because when I center, the unconscious unloads things that I need to then welcome in my being. Or they just kind of fester and I'm spinning around in there as I go into life. So to kind of preserve that reservoir of silence that we build up in our centering prayer, I like to welcome whatever comes up when we center. So the body part is welcomed, and then that silence, that reservoir that we built up in our centering prayer can stay with us. So in however way you want, go into your own welcoming prayer practice for just a couple of minutes.